Well, luckily they apprehended the shooter. So, all good. Which is phenomenal. Um, so, essentially, back to what we're doing. What you're basically seeing right here is me declining that call. And what's really cool is that you're going to get that essentially at this point sits, straight in the mix. And then you just take everything out, add in the rest of the reverbs, the other frequencies that you've cut out, and you are going to get a friggin' amazing sound. So if you can see right there, you get both popping right through. You're not getting anything hidden by one another, anything like that. And that is exactly what you want in your mix, is have everything come through, everything the listener can, be a part of. And that's what you want. You don't want anything hidden. I mean, that is in my opinion, a beautiful finish to that part of the chorus, where it goes into the real, the real breakdown, where it's just the from straight 4 on the floor, and it really breaks it up and hits it differently. So if we listen through it, like right here. And then you go into the final breakdown. Looks like I'm feeding back on this microphone. Unless I'm listening to two things at once here. I don't know if I'm feeding back. Oh, no, it's just feeding back from Twitch as well as Facebook. All right, let's see if I finished everything on this ending part. That do is bothering me. So yeah, that kind of bothers me. So I love Melodyne. I don't really care too much about its pitch correction. I don't generally alter that because, this is me. I'm generally pretty much on pitch. And I like having that slightly sometimes out of tune aspect to it. It makes it more real. And, don't be afraid if you have a vocalist. All right, so say your vocalist just can't, say they're just flat, 49 cents. So they are literally basically sitting there. You basically have this person sitting there and they're just not hitting notes. Okay, that's great. One of the things that people do in Melodyne is they just use, the snap too. Um, but you don't, you shouldn't, honestly, really don't do that. If you really want to have an authentic sounding, especially if you're using a lot of harmonies, which is really popular right now within rock music, obviously, which is the sound I'm trying to experiment with for this one, right? And what's really good about it is if you are working in Melodyne, you can alter things that you need to without messing too much with the pitch. Like if you see on the pitch right here, we're really not even centering them. We don't care because the vocalist hits it pretty straight on, and as you can see, they're doing with these. You can see they're doing a lot of entering notes. So really, what I use it for is rolling off slurs, and besides that, formants. If you have like a little bit of a nasally one, you can just pop the formant up a little bit, and you're really basically going to eliminate that. So really the quality of the vocal here is on that don't. That's what's ticking me off. And to put you back together again. So right there, it sounds a little salty to me. And so basically what I'm going to do within here is see where my problems are within those waveforms, and basically we're just gonna go and fix them. It's easy peasy pumpkin peasy. So like right there, that sound, it's as simple as popping the formant up a little bit. You do it a little bit like that, and you are going to eliminate a lot of that resonance that's messing up the timbre. You can literally just hear the difference right out of the gate. It's just, it moves up that sound that you're going to get otherwise. That to it can't move it, it cannot remove it completely, but it's going to make it sound 10 times better if you're as nitpicky as I am. And yeah, if you're as nitpicky as I am, you're gonna definitely enjoy utilizing those types of features in Melodyne. And not enough people use it for its ability to control, those types of things. But I'll try my hardest to put you back together. Right there too, like there's just that nasal quality that to put you back to back. Number one, obviously it's a vocal style to put that grit, but does make it very hard to those. I generally like when there's that grit sound, I generally do go and tune it beforehand, manually, just within the sample. And that's what I'm more about, is if there's notes that I need to tune, I will go and tune them manually. Like, yeah, I could just pop that into place or whatever. Vocalist already hit the note correctly. So what? It's a tiny bit flat, right? What? That's maybe 10 cents flat. But I mean, it adds that authenticity that your ears can totally hear notes that are on key perfectly, and it just sounds fake, especially when you're surrounding it with louder harmonies, because that automatically is going to give it a more refined and massaged sound. So the last thing I want to do is increase that sound already. We want depth. We want that kind of thing. We don't want computer sounding. But at the same time, to put you back to You back together. We're just gonna go fuck with the formats here. The other thing I do within here is, you know, I will do pitch drift, pitch modulation. But generally, if I am doing pitch modulation, it's to kind of increase the note. Like, for instance, I'll sing notes that are just, it's kind of funny. They're too perfect sounding. And it's really annoying because you know, you don't want to hear that from people. Oh, this sounds like this. So sometimes you can go in, make it sound worse. I mean, literally go in and make it sound worse. Not that much. A little bit, maybe. I really don't like that don't feel like altering it, but the same for me. And then yeah, I mean, dude, it's not about, you know, messing with pitches. Like, I just generally, I barely touch them unless they're just garbage. And the thing is too is, as you can see, these are a lot of slides into the notes. You know, it's not, and that comes along with, you know, the style of singing. So basically have that. So let's listen to that. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I want to see here is, do I have the harmonies I like covered? Man, I think I essentially do. I might add in that other harmony, so that I put in. I don't know. It's just kind of like sang over on the ribbon mic, so it's a little bit warmer. Basically, the two mics that I use, and here's the thing: is you cannot skimp on mics. I mean, it's just the main mic I use is the Blueberry. I don't believe it's made anymore, but hands down, it is the best friggin' mic you can get. It's only $1,000, and the frequency response on that is up to basically inaudible by the human ear. I mean, it's a condenser mic that is worth every single damn penny. Because if you have a vocalist who just has that nuance, that timbre on the high end, and you want to capture that, you aren't going to do that with a, you know, what is this one? A woodpecker or something? I don't know. It's a ribbon mic, because you should have one of the, you know, a top end condenser, a top end ribbon. Ribbons, especially like this one, it's $1,000 as well. So, you know, to a lot of people, yeah, I mean, that's a lot of money. But here's the thing is, you go and sing in your friggin' $300 mic, or God forbid, $100 mic, whatever, you aren't going to get the frequencies you need to work with. And if even more horribly, at least with a ribbon, you're getting a lot of warmth and depth and just a really good kind of sound to work with that has a lot of color. It may not capture that high end as well, but that's what we have the Blueberry for, because it captures every sonic frequency. Now, does it warm it up? No, but it's an excellent reproduction of the voice. So if you are able to process that correctly, and then you layer it with the ribbon, you just get a buttery, smooth sounding, you know, vocal. So what I generally do is I do all the backings with the ribbon. Generally, I'll do the doubles, things like that. I'm being lazy on this song. But in this case, which sometimes I just go through and make up a harmony on the spot. And but what you need to do, which again is just so important, but it takes so much effort, and a lot of people don't do that, is like, for instance, I don't mind this being smoothed out in Melodyne, right? Because that's what I'm going for. I just want these notes to hit the melody and so the same, nothing's changed again. I found myself in the. So I mean, it doesn't matter on there. So just went through, sang a harmony, but you need to cut out all the stuff that is not matching directly to your main vocals. I mean, it's as simple as that. And if you don't, you just get muddied garbage, which I hear way too often in these mainstream tracks. It's just lazy production. And, you know, it's not the top end people's fault. It's these kids just with no production experience putting these beats together and then sending it over to an actual engineer who has to master it. And it's like, well, now I have to work with this. So what you do is you're going to go through, and you need to do this on every single thing. Like, I need to, you know, go through everything here and cut out everything that doesn't match. So then when you take your, you know, your main vocal and, you know, this guy. It's all the same. Nothing's changed again. I found myself in the Korean. As I increase this thing and toss around here. So, as you can hear in the beginning, it cuts really nicely. It's all the same. And it's hitting in the right spot. But you can tell, Jesus. Great. So now we basically need to go through this entire thing. Make sure that number one, everything is, you know, completely matching. Incredibly important. I mean, if you don't see why, I don't even know what to tell you. I mean, it's just extremely important to have it all matching straight on up. And the thing is when it comes to adding these type of harmonies, especially ones that aren't copies that you're just altering pitch with, which you should use because it'll give it that current sound that people are doing with harmonies. However, you need to have real sung harmonies too, because that's going to add depth. It's the same thing, you know, adding waves together. But the last thing you want is to hear breaths, to hear endings that don't fit within the actual phrase. So we cut it all out. And like this little, you know, it needs to be perfectly matching. You know, take that end off. You know, get rid of this garbage. It's going to make it sound, I know it sounds really, really nitpicky, but when it comes down to it, it's really not. It's going to change your sound so much. But you just don't anticipate that happening simply because it seems like it's such a minor tweak. But what's funny is just that a lot of things you don't really consciously notice or hear in a record, you are hearing, and it's affecting the way you think about that record. So those little double vocals that you can kind of hear sometimes, like that's because people aren't trimming and lining up the harmonies in a way that is productive to the mix down. So it's sitting so wide and so far back that you can chop it just hard, and if you're using most DAWs, the digital audio workstations are going to automatically put a small fade around that. If you zoom in, you will see that there is already a small fade going across. So you don't, even if it is chopped, which it is, it's not the worst thing in the world, because you aren't going to hear it. You aren't going to hear it. And what cracks me up is, when you're working with people, a lot of people hear things that they think are, oh man, I can't do this, can't do that. Oh, that sounds horrible. And nobody in the audience is going to, or no listening audience is going to hear it at all. But a lot of these other things you do hear. That note that you think you didn't, make sound very good, nobody's going to notice. But trust me, these things, they add up. It's crazy. This new version of Ableton is really killing me. So, don't know what's going on with that. Looks like we got to chop this, move it a little bit forward. Only got a little bit left. And honestly, when it comes down to it, if anybody wants some free production experience and wants to do this for me, this is the boring part. This is the boring work that is honestly, however, going to separate you from the amateurs sitting in front of their laptop. I mean, the thing is you just never forget it's a damn science. Your voice resounds. Your voice resounds. And don't be afraid to just match waveforms that are just all cut up and like, what the hell is going on? Voice resounds. All you're doing is it's just going to make it sound better. It may look stupid, but when you fit it in with everything, I mean, let's just listen to the vocal track. Yeah. So if we just listen to the vocal track then, rather than just those two spots, you're getting this. After chopping that harmony. It's all the same. Nothing's changed again. I found myself in the Quran. And you can hear some of that like muddled shit. And that's what we're gonna go through with the other tracks and get the hell out of there too. Is my mic even on? Check one, check one. Oh, I guess it is. See, in this case, I'm wondering why it is. How this new version of Live is just ugh. It's just ugh. Show my fate. I mean, oh man. I really am not a fan of this new version of Live. It's this new version of Live is just garbage. $400 of hot garbage. It's like popping out way too much for me though. I'm gonna say I only want to just barely friggin' hear it. Just barely hear it. Alright. So, you know, yeah, I think I can roll with that. Let's record a little stupid thing here. Yeah, so what? You do a little script? Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna pop that down in the main. I'm just gonna. I'll just fucking turn the main on.
Yeah, so what? Should we do a little screen? Okay. Yeah, so what? Should we do a little screen? Okay.
All right. I don't know. We'll just do that like little incidental. I don't know. Sounds funny. Gotta pop that volume a little down.
Yeah, so what? Should we do a little screen? Okay. Yeah, so what? Should we do a little screen?
What am I? Let's see here.
Yeah, so what? Should we do a little screen?
Not to mention this new is just touchy beyond belief.
Yeah, so what? Should we do a little screen? Yeah, so what? Should we do a little screen?
Oh, brother. Problem with the incidentals is like you gotta figure out a way to sit the incidental. You gotta figure out a way to sit the incidental like in the mix where it's not gonna sound like it's just bizarrely popping over the top. So I mean, really, it sounds stupid because it's not a real vocal, but you're just gonna put one in the low, drop it an octave, basically match up the waveforms, drop the same thing in the double. It's really weird if you double it an incidental, but just re-recording it, it's kind of bizarre. So I mean, right there, essentially, it is what it is.
Should we do a little screen? Okay.
And I think I'll just kind of like, I don't know, pan it over. Just, it's one of those things that it's really stupid when it comes down to it, but it adds like a bizarre little touch. And I think I'll just have it as it goes. I'll have it fade back to the center. People don't notice or consciously notice. And the thing is, it does make a difference coming back and narrowing it down. Like another trick, because I have a real problem with compressing the shit out of things like is done in modern production. Super easy trick to match sounds. Like if you're playing radio, you want your track to hit just as hard as the last one. Otherwise, for whatever reason, psychology-wise, people view it as not as good. All you friggin' do is create a roll-off of, your amplitude there. Raise it up 2 decibels right on the instrumental, have it fade down, and then pop back up to your normal spot or what have you. And then over in your master, you are going to do a very similar thing, except in the master, you are going to not only, you're going to pop it up to 5, but you're going to keep it rolling down, lower than what you're going to want your mix at. Then this is kind of different because it has a. So what I do is I drop it down lower. Then because it's like. So in that case, what? I have it go from negative 1.2 up to 1.6. So you get that kind of rise going up. But then right on that drop, that hit, I pop it up to 3.2 and then roll it off over the first measure back down to 0.7, which is what I want my mix at so I don't lose dynamics. And then at the end of the track too, you essentially do the same exact thing. So it rolls off just as high, but at the end, pump it higher than what the next song is going to be, probably on the radio or on the playlist. Makes your song ultimately sound better in people's eyes. Next one's going to be lower in volume. Super stupid, but the psychology of the brain is pretty damn stupid sometimes. Nothing's changed again. I found myself. Alright, so I think we're essentially done with this section. Alright. I don't know. The depth on that is just doesn't sound right, so let's cut out some of the low end or whatever. Alright, main bus. Alright. So let's just take the low pass. Okay. Is that even affecting it?
Do a little screen.
Okay.
Do a little screen.
I just want that all cut out. It just Hanois me. But we'll obviously, son of a monkey's uncle. We're obviously going to end up taking it back. If this new version of Ableton would stop sucking.
Do a little screen. Okay.
I don't know, it just matches the real. I mean, that's real high on the high end. So actually, I'm gonna pop up the gain on the high end too. I don't, it's got to match the note that's coming next. Otherwise, it just doesn't sound right. But the thing is we don't actually have to go and record it that way. We'll just alter it within our little landscape of wonderful. Wonderful little tools. Yeah, I mean, not hard. Just common sense. I mean, it's not common sense, but it's just like a puzzle you're solving. Um, so I suppose let's listen to it from the beginning. From the beginning here.
You listening?
Alright. Yeah, this is gonna be like the last track here that's gonna have screaming on it. Ooh. How do I son of a monkey's uncle. I just want to edit the title. I don't understand. Why won't you let me edit the post? There we go. Are you really not gonna bring up? That they never say. It's not gonna let me bring up my. Do. Boom, button the current. Alright, just trying to update this stupid title here. Thabe. Alright, coolie ho. Alright. Suppose let's look at the chorus here. I remember hearing those screaming vocals being a little loud, in my opinion. So let's see what's going on. So I mean, what I'm just gonna fucking do it like this. Let's just split the note apart. You know, pop in volume. No, not a work point, stupid. Show me volume. Alright. And let's just take it. Super friggin' easy. That way, I mean, it's just the little thing. It's the little things sometimes that just fix everything. Maybe I should share this to the Never Say No. I'm typing on the wrong fucking keyboard. We're all so fragile. Want to do something cool right there, because to me that space is just, maybe I'll just, I don't know, let's try doing a little stutter effect and see what that sounds like. I don't know, I kind of almost want to throw a pan on there, like a back and forth. I don't know. I think that'd be kind of. I think that'd be kind of funny. I don't know. Let's see what that does. Okay. Let's quantize this real quick. So that's eighth notes, right? Yeah. So we got our eighth note. Why you always gotta be a dick, Ableton? All right, let's see what this sounds like. I'm not gonna even bother doing it correctly at first. Let's see what this is all about. That is definitely 16th notes. Oops. All right, let's go all the way up to 45. And definitely move this little son of a monkey's uncle over here. Nope, did I say do it that way? No, I didn't. Why you gotta go and do me like this, Ableton? Every damn time. You always gotta go and do me like an idiot. I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, Ableton, you really dropped the ball on this one. Really dropped the damn ball. Cause this Ableton 10, this is garbage. This is hot garbage. All these, these new features you guys put in, garbage. I just don't know if that cuts hard enough. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Doesn't really pop that hard, but you know what? Let's maybe try doing. You know what? Let's try popping that in this one instead. Do. Main with harmony. So somebody could explain to me why I'm not hearing it on channel 2, that would be fucking cool. That's because I applied it to the fucking volume. Oh, that would that'll do it. It's so weak sounding on. Interesting. Alright, so definitely not a fan of that. Let's see what happens if we pop that automation onto this little guy. Alright, let's see what happens here if I do this. Huh. I think maybe it's this first one that's screwing up the cadence. Okay, like what in God's monkey and green earth do you think you're doing here, buddy? Yeah, I don't know. I like that. It's cool. I mean, I know from experience, I do want to put, honestly, you do want to try and, no. No. So this is a kind of, how do I describe this except for a bizarre way to God, how would I describe it? What it does is it makes the panning sound less abrasive. I don't know. I guess it makes the panning sound less abrasive, and ultimately you get a better, cut back and forth. It just sounds better, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Let's see if we can try and get that guy. I can never remember which way to. There we go. Oops. Nope. Wrong way. Not you. Not you. You. So. You kind of hear that popping on there, I guess. That's just because I have the sample rate really low so that it streams better. But if you listen to it, it's just going to add like a kind of interesting little touch. And it really kind of cuts out those notes. Bum, 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 bum. So it sounds cool. Maybe we'll put a maybe we'll just put a sub drop because I just do not like that blank space. Let's see if I have any sub drops just stuck in here. I don't think I do. Yeah. Nope, no sub drop stuff in here. Let's make one. Oh, I bet I have some saved in contact. Get your contact on your head. You heading west, talk shit about Dre. You better get a vest and invest in something to protect your head and neck. All back and forth like Randy Mess. Alright, I know I have some sub drops saved in here, I bet. Alright, let's find a sub drop. I know I have one saved in here somewhere. Database, instruments. Demons with me. I know you're in here, buddy. I know you're in here, my guy. You know what? Fuck it. I'll just make one in massive. Alright, let's just make one in massive here. Because I have no clue where I have any of those samples that I've made. I'm just too... What is the scale this is in? A major? Or is it B major? No. Yeah, it's B major. All right. So if I had the ability to turn my sub on, if my neighbor wasn't a bitch, you'd be able to hear that low end that'll hit on the sub. Okay, so now let's go roll it off. Just put an LFO. Actually, no. Yeah, put an LFO on your meh. All right, Q. Throw the same LFO to this one. Drop it I mean, if you have, I mean, say this is playing on real speakers with a sub, you will get those sub frequencies. Want it a little slower. Obviously, we really don't want that high-end shit. We obviously just want the bass hit. So, I mean, all you got to do here at this point. I'll just turn on the sub. I don't know if that affects you guys, but you're gonna get that low end in the sub. So, I mean, I can hear it, but then again, I'm sitting right next to a 12-inch floor sub. Is that thing still going? All right, so now just go back to your regular utilities. You know what? I wonder if I pop down an octave. Nope, don't like that. And pop up. All right. Then just take a stupid auto filter. Obviously, it doesn't show up as auto at first. All right, great. You do want some of that high end in, because as long as it rolls off right in the beginning, you'll get exactly what you're looking for. This point, you can throw an EQ8 in. It's just not worth it. You know, just kill the frequencies on on a dumb EQ, or if you're in Ableton on an EQ3, find your low. Where the frequency hits the best. And then take a look at the mid. Kind of adds a resonance I don't like, but it also adds a bit I do like, so just drop that a few decibels. Forget about the high end. Just cut the high end. And then at that point, just throw, the last thing you want this stupid thing to do is clip you out. So, I don't know, just throw super straightforward limit. You know what? Just throw a fast limiter on there. And set it to 0. Set your release to auto. Keep your ceiling at, actually, I move it to -0.2. And then all we have to do is just record it. Super easy. And I think I might add on, just because it's not popping through, because this instrumental, it's actually not created by me. To me, I mean, it's good enough for what it is, but you know, let's pop this one at 0. Actually, you know what? Fuck that. Let's just go into here. C, Control V. Where is my other thing? Let's try that. I don't know. I'll see if it cuts through in the car. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know. I just don't like that dead space there. The mastering on this is just, it left the low end so fucking muddy. Not really anything I can do, but we'll see. We shall see. So I guess we'll just go through now and cut some of these. We'll just go through and cut some of these doubles because I hear them clogging up. I don't know. They look like they're all cut already. Did I go through and cut them, I guess? Did I line and cut these? Apparently I did. Apparently I already did that. So I get, yeah, I mean, add some impromptu harmonies there. I gotta go through and fix these screaming vocals. Some of those layers are cut off in a way that I'm not quite sure if that's doing that because my sample rate is low. Yeah, that works. So, essentially, let's just take it from the get-go here.
You're listening.
Fuck that. I'm gonna do a riser instead. It's just gonna sound better. A riser will just sound so much better. So let's see here. Let's see if we can find my damn... Oh, brother. I can never find this. Is it an S? Sound Effects Bank. There we go. Oh, probably it's not fuck with these. Oh yeah, that'll work right there, won't it? All this shit. sound effect from. If I could find a riser, that'd be super cool. So that was fucking worthless. I know I got... See, I just have way too many damn samples is my problem. Sounds. Specials. Apparently... I'm not gonna find what the fuck I'm looking for in there. Somebody give me fade ends. All right. And that is one of the beautiful things about production, is sitting here for an hour getting the sample. Is a reverse snare, but oh, I'm finding it. We're gonna flip from side to side. We're gonna do it like this. I recognize that from a CD. I like that one. Nice and simple. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. So Team Now it's just stupid loud. Let's do -3. Alright. So now that is way sitting under. There we go. Alright, now let's make it actually sound like it's a part of the mix. Easiest way to go about doing that. Reverb. Toss in any reverb after your EQ. Honestly. You know, make it just set the decay time to like 3 seconds. Mixes it right in. Drop the high end generally on your diffusion. I don't know. I move the high cut on things like this because I want to take just a little bit off it. Whatever. Ultimately, when it comes down to it, you're just mostly worried about the decay time. Raise your stereo a little bit. If you are using Ableton, make sure you change it from eco to high. You'll thank me. Takes up way more use, like CPU usage. But ultimately, what the thing is when you're using, the high, you're gonna hear a huge difference. I mean, it's more CPU usage, and then make sure too that, like I said, you're taking your high cut. If you're using this to mix in, it should just be subtle right there in the background. You can hear it though, but it's subtle. And then just take the sample rate back up and just start checking the dwell on the sample rate and around the sample amplitude. And then you can see there it now fits quite well into the into it. So what I'm going to do, what you really should do here is you should create 2 separate chains. One where you can control your reverb and its frequencies, and then just the main sample, combine them together. I'm feeling pretty damn lazy. So we're just going to also size the room up. And so you got the stupid little, where, the cutting and then back and forth and I don't know, it just kind of breaks up the sound. And, you know, it's that simple. Okay, so I think essentially at that point, you know, the main vocals are more or less done. Now we just need to go reprocess the dirty vocals here and probably add in that back. It does add to it the fact that it's a double as well on top of that natural kind of harmony rather than just the stacking layers and altering the tones is what it is. I'm gonna go now and finish that up and do some other stuff, and I will peace out now later on.